Hey guys, Chad Hoover, Kayak Bass and TV. I'm here with Rob and Angie at Highland Rim Retreats. This week's Just the Tip is going to be simple. This is a question that I get pretty often. Rob actually asked me the question. He's like, hey man, I'm looking to get into kayaks. I've got a 9-year-old daughter. What kayak should I buy? And I said to him, you shouldn't buy a kayak, you should buy kayaks. Your daughter's old enough that she can paddle her own kayak. Rob's beautiful wife happened to be walked by, so I grabbed her and drug her into the conversation. So we're gonna use this video as a public service message to America, okay? And that way I can explain this one time to these two guys and to all of you at once. And for the guy out there that's trying to convince his wife he needs to get a couple of kayaks and she thinks you just wanna get a kayak for your buddy who's too sorry to buy his own, that is not what we're doing here. Listen, if you wanna paddle one kayak, it's frustrating for everybody on board. Okay, we call them in the industry divorce boats, all right? The only people that can get away with paddling a tandem kayak are people that wear matching shirts to like hoedowns, you know, go to the mall and hold hands from the time they get out of the car until they leave the mall. They hold both hands, not just sitting at the table eating dinner and hold one hand, but you know those people that reach across the table and hold both hands the entire time, and nobody wants to pull their hand away to eat. And so it's this weird, anxious moment at dinner. So anyway, so here's the deal, guys. I wanted to tell Angie at the same time I was telling Rob, because I saw Angie walking by and Rob way outkicked this coverage, a lot like I did. And I knew that when he went home and tried to explain this, that it was gonna be like, come on, you just wanna get 2 kayaks. All right, so I'm talking over myself again because I wanna drive this point home. If you have a kid that you wanna get into kayaking, part of the experience is that feeling of independence, of getting out there in the water and doing their own thing. When they feel like that they're secondary to where you want to go as dad or where you want to go as mom, it's not as pleasant experience for them. If they feel like they're doing their own thing, it's a bit more of an adventure. Anytime they're old enough to hold the paddle, anytime they're old enough to wear a PFD, if they're old enough to ride a bike, they're old enough to paddle a kayak on their own, okay? They float better than we do. They swim more naturally than we do. So if they ended up flipping over, it's no big deal. They don't panic like we do. You know, they don't think, oh, what happens if I flip over? They say to themselves, there's water. I hope I flip over. You know, they want to go swimming. But this message is for the dads and moms out there that want to take their kids fishing, but it's also for the couple out there that by default wants to buy one kayak and say, but it's so much easier. It's easier to load. It's easier to save money. For the most part, the girl that's disinterested in fishing that wants to go with her boyfriend or husband or significant other is not going to have as good a time. She's probably not going to participate in the paddling. She's going to be on social media or reading a book, and he's going to do all the work. So he's going to be in the back resenting that he has to paddle all the time. She's going to be in the back going, how come you can't just paddle us over there? Why is the wind spinning us? How come my hair's in my face? You know, all of these other things. But if she had her own kayak and he had his own kayak, she could paddle where she wanted to paddle. She could hang out over there. It does pull the double duty when he wants to take a buddy, or if your kids want to bring a friend, that you've got that extra kayak. Most tandem kayaks are not, it's not like you're saving half the money. They're about the price of 1.5 kayaks. So you're only spending about that half again amount of money. You've got the ability, resale value is a lot higher on 2 kayaks than it is on a tandem kayak. And so again, listen guys, thank you Angie for stunting as the beautiful wife for me. Thanks for asking and posing the question. But here's the deal, if you're looking to get into kayaking, resist that initial urge. And trust me when I tell you, it's intuitive. Everybody thinks, oh, I should just get a tandem. Right. Because it just seems like it makes sense. But unless you're gonna ride one of those bicycles with the front and back seat on it and ride around the neighborhood, don't get a tandem kayak. We call them divorce boats for a reason. Your kids will have much more fun if they can go on their own. They feel independent. They're gonna love the sport more. They're gonna wanna go more. And I wouldn't be surprised if you don't get home from work, she's got the paddles out, she's got the PFDs out, she's got everything ready and says, Dad, let's load up the kayaks and go fishing. But if she's got to go out there and paddle around at the mercy of you, the other thing that happens too, and I'm gonna say this, if you have a kid in a boat, this is a tip on top of a tip, get them some of these. Okay, it's not just for seeing the fish and it's not just for protecting your eyes from the harmful UV rays, which is part of the reason you should buy them. But a good pair of sunglasses when you're fishing with a kid is insurance against when you go to set that hook and the fish misses it and the lure comes flying back 50 miles an hour. You guys have watched my videos very long. You've seen me remove a number of hooks. You don't see every hook I remove. I remove probably 10 or 12 hooks a year from kids that parents who know me call me and see if they can swing by the house. So here's the deal. Buy a good pair of quality optics, a good pair of glasses for your kid. You have a good pair of glasses on, especially fishing from a tandem if you decide to go that route or if you already own one. That way when you set the hook and that lure comes flying back and that kid's not paying attention, it catches them in the eye. It's a life-altering thing. So a good pair of sunglasses, a good pair of eye protection, and get 2 kayaks. You'll have more fun. You'll be better on the water. And I know that you probably want a tandem kayak so that you can prove that you did this,
yes,
right?
correct.
That he pulled this off a lot like I do. But trust me when I tell you, you want your own kayak, she wants her own kayak, you'll have more fun, she'll have more fun, and sometimes you might come home and she's invited a girlfriend out, or the mailman, you know what I mean? And they're out fishing already. So again, 2 kayaks is the way to go. Stay away from the tandem. We call it the divorce boat for a reason. Guys, do us a favor. Comment below. Tell me if you agree or disagree. Smash that thumbs up button if you like it. Smash the thumbs down button if you don't. But I promise you, most people that buy a tandem kayak think they're saving money. But what you end up doing is you end up buying a tandem kayak and then you end up buying 2 kayaks. So you actually paid a whole tandem kayak more to end up with the 2 kayaks that you should have had in the beginning.
Perfect.
So
thanks, Kay.
see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about this mailman thing.
Yeah.